Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. So it's 2024 and it's snowing out. So we'll be doing our oil change today. Go step by step how I do it. You guys might have a different way, but I usually start by draining all the oils and we go from there. So you're gonna need, and I don't know why, but you're gonna need 10 WD-40 for your front diff. This was recommended to me by the shop itself. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put 10 WD-40 in the front diff. And we're gonna be putting THD, transmission differential hydraulic fluids, for the rear. This is what is suggested. Now, I'm not the Kawasaki technician from the shop, but this is what they suggested to do. I said, this isn't what the handbook says, but this is what they suggest. So you're supposed to do your first oil change with the Kawasaki brute force at 100 kilometers. I still think like the old days where you do it at the 200 kilometer mark, but no, I am wrong. So every first oil change is at 100 clicks, and then after that, every 200 kilometers, you have to do an oil change through the handbook. Follow it, don't follow it, it's up to you guys. So let's get at her. So for our oil plug, I still have the stock
skid plate.
Stock skid plates. And yeah, so you're gonna have your hole here, and this is for your oil pan. This is 17 mils. Oh. Make sure we're in reverse. Crack it. And let her fly. Now you can warm up your machine before or not. That's totally up to you. I'd rather not warm it up, because then we'll burn our fingers. Remember to change your crush washer, so that way you're guaranteed it won't leak oil. No steel through it, so we'll let this drain, and while this drains, we'll go to the oil filter.
Alright guys, so on these bikes, your oil filter is located right there, in a spot that is not so easily accessible. So taking this out by hand is probably not an option. So we'll be back with a way to take it out.
So after crushing it, I put a hole through it to loosen it up. And then you put your screwdriver here, put it through the filter, pull it again. Where did I put my screwdriver?
Put it on the ground.
Fonctionne facile, toi, ok. Vraiment, c'est parce que je suis pas capable de me rendre le bras au bord, tu sais. Put it here.
Where's the hammer?
White spot things.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny? Changing the oil and then end up at the hospital.
No.
Because of a crushed finger. That'd be peachy. Peachy. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, this is not
The best. Yep. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ, how tight did it? Hit.
again.
again.
No, all that leaking's a good sign.
Some golden goodness. So yeah, we wrecked it. Let's go get the new filter, put it back on. So guys, it's a brand new filter. Some people fill them up, some people don't. I fill them up if they are upwards, but we're going sideways, right? So I won't fill it up. Get a little bit of fresh oil on your finger and do that seal. If you don't lube it up, you might break that seal just by tightening it down. So just a little bit of lube goes a long way. So you just put it back in. Remember, I was trying to take it out the wrong way. Just get her on. I always tighten it by hand. I never, ever, ever use tools to tighten my filters down. So that way, when it's time, they tighten themselves throughout the time, right? So heat will make it expand and everything, and it will stay there. So if we just hand tighten it, should be good. But listen, everybody's grip's different. Everybody has different strengths. I used to do this on semis. I always hand tighten it, never had a problem. Yeah, I should clean that too. Yeah, I need that. New crush washer. And you put it in. Do, 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 do. There we go. And if I go to crack it, it should feel the same as earlier. Yep. So don't over tighten these, because if you do, you're gonna have to change your plug and probably rethread this block. Now we add oil. Then we're gonna start it up and everything should work smoothly. It should. Your dipstick. We all know where the dipstick is, right? Something we gotta check every time we go for a ride. Not to do like the Suzuki. Now grab your funnel, make sure it's clean. I cleaned it earlier. I keep a screen in there, so just in case any debris falls, I don't have rocks or anything in my engine. And there we go.
Liquid gold.
Liquid gold, but I'm not gonna go right to the top. For the simple reason that there's a full mark on that dipstick and I ain't going any higher than that. So we'll top this off and we'll... So now, I'm just checking my oil levels. I am right at the full mark. So we'll put this cap back on. Because remember, the oil filter is empty at this point. So we're gonna have to start her up. We start her, we let her run, and then we're gonna go check and make sure we're not leaking oil anywhere. leaking any oil, but if you were leaking oil from the plug, we would have just tightened it a little bit. If you would have leaked oil from the oil filter, we would tighten it a little bit. Now I got to put the skid plate back on. But before I do, I got to do my diffs too, right? And since we ran the engine, we got to check the dipstick again. Make sure we're still full, because we just filled up our little oil filter that doesn't take much oil, but still. Properly check your dipstick. One, two, three, four, five. Unscrew. And there we go, boys and girls. Here's the line. And she's full. So this takes care of the engine. Next up, both this. So now for the front diff, 1/2 inch. Oh, let's make sure we're on the right side so that way we don't tighten it. And boom. This will take longer than the engine. Remember, change your crush washer. So that way you have a new one. And we're going to let this leak out for a while. And then we'll be back. Front diff.
Alright, and a few minutes later, she done dripping.
No, more like 15. You just tighten her down. Remember, not too tight. I'm noticing this is going to be a glitch with the brute force, because that front diff had gotten water in it.
Yeah, and if you're wondering where the plug is, the front diff.
Your front plug is going to be right here.
Right there.
This. I forgot I loosened it. It's 19 mils. Now we're gonna have to clean this properly because I don't want dirt in that diff. So now we're gonna grab our engine oil and our funnel. We'll line her up. You want to hold this? Now, how do you know when your diff is full? It will leak out. How am I gonna get this? You're gonna have to go through the inside of the fender.
I think so.
So, come over there.
You good?
Yeah, right here. We're just gonna top this off. This is gonna be a pin in the arse. And when she'll be full, you'll notice she'll leak on the side of the diff. That's why you want it to stick in, so that way you can fill up your diff. So our front diff is done. You just keep filling until it overflows by itself. You can't overfill a diff. But if you overfill an engine, it's really bad for your crank. It can also turn it into a milkshake stage, which will get oil into your valves, into your exhaust, and might blow your engine. So remember, never ever overfill an engine, or never run it low. Suzuki's a prime example. It's costing me a crank, so. let's get ready for the back diff. Gonna let the excess that we put in the front diff leak into the oil bin, and then we'll be back for the back rear diff. And now for the rear, 12 mils. This will be your Phillip plug, which is 19 mils.
That was a lot easier.
Oh yeah. And this one right here. Let's make sure. And like the front, it's gonna take a while. I can't wait to see this rear diff, because the front one I know I'm gonna have to change often. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. So now we know Kawasaki has water in their diffs. So they're not the best sealed guys. So if you have a suggestion to seal them up better, let me know. We'll let this drain. And while that drains, I'm gonna need a little bit of za. Not that the oil is drained, we got a full stomach. We get to put the oil plug back in. Tighten her down. Then you're gonna grab your 19 mil. Loosen this bolt, but I've already done it. Grab your funnel, your THD. You gotta change these O-rings too. But since they're leaking oil in, I don't really see the point. So this oil is a little, there's still oil in here. This oil is a little thicker. Empty out your funnels. And then just drop her in.
Do the same thing for the rear diff as the front?
Yep. Fill her up till she starts to overflow. It's gonna overflow. No.
Not yet.
Yes, it is.
Nope, there we go.
And let's not waste it, because we can use it again somewhere else. I'll put our funnel here. Let that drain out a bit. And then, yeah, put your plug back in, tighten it down, and that's your complete oil change, guys. So I hope this video helps you guys do your own oil changes, save a little bit of money. If it did, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, and we'll catch you on the flip.